So a great winter project to get started with is to set up your Growlight system for the following season. So I'm going to show you how I'm setting up mine this year in a small space. So if you're anything like me, you are fighting space in your house. And a bit of a backstory for us, we've just moved to a farm, but we can't live on site yet, and there are no utilities on site. And we've also had to downsize from our property that we owned into a rental. So we really do not have any space at all. So we're cramming everything in. So I don't have a grow room, yet I'm setting up a farm which needs thousands of seedlings. So we're having to make do with what we've got. And I think it's the same for many people. So this tiny room is my spare room. Now obviously it is COVID at the moment, which means we don't need a spare bed because nobody's allowed to come and stay. So what I've done is I've flipped the mattress up on its side, and I've got this marvellous grow tent from Mars Hydro, which I'll show you in a minute. And then I've got a little snug down here because my computer is here. And that's where I sit and do all my computery stuff. So I've got a little snug that I sit, but the idea will be that down here I've got the slats of the bed, but I'm going to get just a couple of really cheap OSB boards, put them across, and then we're going to have shelving up here with all my extra seedlings and my grow lights and things on. At the moment I kind of just use this as an old pet cage, and I have another Mars Hydro light, which is here currently on my cheese plant, and that just fits really well just on top of this. I just pop it on there and grow seedlings underneath. Now it's only December, so I haven't got loads of plants on the go yet, so this will sort of benefit me for now, but come January when I've got thousands of seeds starting, this small tiny room will turn into our grow room, and also clutter room, because we've got everything else that doesn't fit anywhere in the house in this room. So a couple of things I have got on are my sweet peas, and now I forgot about my sweet peas, so I did actually only do them yesterday. So they've been they were soaking in a jar of water overnight, and then I've literally just popped them all into this tray. So they're just in this tray, a thin layer of compost over the top, and then as soon as they start to sprout, you do not want to keep them in the warm, so I'll move these down to the polytunnel. If you keep them in the warm, they'll grow. And then you'll end up with these really long, strangly sweet peas that you really need to get outside, but you can't because the frost is still around. But by this way, you can still, if you've got a windowsill or just a warm room, you can start them on the inside just so you start to get the tips in. They're not frost hardy, but if you put them outside and you cover them over, like in a polytunnel or a greenhouse or a cloche, the cold will stop this sweet pea shoots from growing any further. But as soon as the warmth of spring arrives, they will get going. Now the other thing I have is this marvellous Mars Hydro grow tent. I'm going to put a link below in the description to the Mars Hydro website, so you can go and take a look at all the various products. I'm really happy with this, and I just think this is a brilliant idea. If you haven't got room for loads of shelving in your house, if you've just got a random corner that you don't necessarily want light glaring out of, this is just like a little freestanding cupboard, basically. It's got little vents, as you can see here. It's also got a little hole that you can look through. And look, there is light on inside. So I really like it, and it keeps the heating quite well, which is nice. And it was really, really easy to put up, which is really good as well. So it's got these nice big door. And then what I've done is, if you look at the top, there's a couple of struts that go across, and I've hung a Mars Hydro light from it. Now I reckon in theory you could put a piece of shelving in here, and you could hang two lights. You could have one at the top, and then you could hang another light beneath it on another set of shelves. So you could probably have two sets of shelves, which would work really well. Now my Mars Hydro tent is currently my place where I'm growing buddleia cuttings, and also I've got plants in rehab because I was very bad. I forgot there was a frost and I left some very frost tender plants outside, so they've come in here. So the first thing we have is the lantana. This poor lantana got absolutely frosted. It dropped almost all of its leaves. But you can see already from bringing it inside, it's already starting to get all of this new growth. So I've actually saved it. I'm really, really happy because I love lantana. It reminds me of our honeymoon. So I think that is a winner. There are a couple of other plants that may not have won. I've got this hibiscus here and this hibiscus, which I'm fairly sure is dead. I've killed it, I'm afraid. This one, I'm still pretty certain I can bring it back. I'm just waiting for some buds to appear down the bottom here before I cut it down because it's got really leggy. I ideally like to take it off here and bush it up a bit. So I'm just waiting for that to regenerate, and I think it will. Also this aloe, I thought this aloe was lost, but it may be okay. Some of these outer leaves, you can see the rots, they've kind of gone this translucent colour. That's game over. However, in the centre of some of these, like this one for example, and then this one here, they look all right. So we'll see how that works. Now the other thing I'm growing in here is buddleia. Now you might think, well Jeff, buddleia is an outside plant and it's perennial. Why the hell have you got it in a grow light system? Well, I've got it in a grow light system to create cuttings. So winter obviously is a dormant period for buddleia, and you can see in here all this grayer foliage is the foliage that was on the plant when I bought it. It was $8.99, so £9. It's this lovely buddleia Pink Delight, and it had all this. It was obviously in its winter dormant phase. However, I am growing a buddleia hedge, and I need between 30 and 40 plants for that. I can't afford to buy 40 plants at £9, and so instead I've brought it inside and I've got it in here, and all of these extra bits, all of this greenness you can see is all brand new growth, and I'll be taking that off and turning that into cuttings. And when I've got enough cuttings, I'll just pop this plant back outside. I'll put it in a polytunnel because of course if I took it from this warmth in the Mars Hydro tent and then shoved it straight out into winter, it would probably kill it. The shock would kill it. So I'll acclimatise it over a couple of days, a couple of milder days, and then I'll pop it into the polytunnel for the rest of the season until it's ready to be planted out. But meanwhile, I can take all of these little green shoots off and I can root them and make them into buddleia plants and I'll grow them in here as well so they get really well established. And then come spring, hopefully, I'll be able to get that buddleia hedge out and growing as quickly as possible. So as far as a kind of a make-do grow room, I think it'll be all right. Obviously, it's not the ideal, especially if you're starting a farm. You know, we're not only starting a market farm garden with vegetables, but we're also going to be doing a flower farm. So we are going to have thousands of seedlings, and some are going to have to be sown directly into the soil, or they're going to have to be sown when it gets warmer and they're in the polytunnel. But having a little bit of a growing room at home just helps me get some seedlings going earlier on. So like the peppers, the aubergines, the tomatoes, I can all do in here without too many issues. As I say, this grow tent has proved really, really good. And the buddleia that I showed you, the buddleia was originally just under this grow light here. And it did have quite a lot of growth on it. But since it's gone into the grow tent, it's gone mad. So the grow tent has obviously really helped push that growth rate even faster. And hopefully I will get as many cuttings off that buddleia, which is down here, as possible. So I hope this has shown you a few insights into our tiny home away from the farm, and also the fact that actually, although it'd be lovely to have a dedicated grow room, and obviously we will be planning on having that in the future, most of us, you and me, probably don't have the space. So actually at the moment, making do is all we can do. And by flipping that mattress and then putting some boards down on top of the spare bed, which is redundant at the moment, I can create some shelving and a grow room for 2021. So I hope you've enjoyed the video. Please hit that thumbs up button if you found it useful. Ask anything you wish in the comments. We'll try and get back to the farm next time, although it is December and it is quite cold, so there's not a vast amount going on at the moment. If you're over on Facebook, come across and join us at Brimwood Farm's community group. I will put a link up here to some more of our farming videos. But for now, take care, stay safe, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.